Shut up and sit down.
Hello there guys, DMBDajoker here and welcome to my first trading methods video. Today what we're going to look at is a few different methods on how I like to make my coins on FIFA Ultimate Team. Let me start by saying though, trading is not my main thing generally. I prefer to actually play the matches, play weekend league, play squad battles and use the rewards to build up from there. That being said, I have a few main methods that I use, and they've helped me make millions of coins, helped me make a very decent team. It's a video game, let's get it right, okay? So I don't want to get home from work and do things like sniping, mass bidding, calculating, I don't want to do an accountant's job at the same time as my job and trying to play FIFA. So what I like to do is use a few different methods along with selling my rewards and stuff to build up from there. So what I would say is if you want to watch a video on sniping and mass bidding, you're better off going elsewhere. But if you want to have fun on the game this year, because FIFA 18 was a killer, but with FIFA 19 around the corner, the first thing people have asked me is can you make a video on making decent coins? Okay, so what I thought that would be the best place to start, and then I can look into making my road to glory and things like that. Now before I go any further, if you could drop a thumbs up below, that would be great. I'd recommend doing it now because you probably won't want to do it afterwards. Also, if you could subscribe to the channel, press the bell, that would be very much appreciated as well. But with all that out of the way, let's get into trading method number 1. Now a small disclaimer, obviously FIFA 19 isn't out yet and the beta didn't have bronze packs in it, so I've recorded footage of 18 just to show the bronze packs on there. The only thing that will change anyway in 19 is the animation, and this way you've got something to watch in the background rather than my ugly mug the whole time. Okay, so bronze pack method's the easiest of the trading methods for me. For me, it's the most consistent as well. I've played FUT now for 8 years and every year this has worked a treat. The main thing to note with bronze pack method, although it seems like you ain't making any instant profit, it all adds up, you just need a bit of patience with it. So how it works, you buy normal bronze packs, don't bother with the 750s as that's just an extra rares that don't really influence anything, but you buy the 400 coin packs and in it you generally get 3 players. My advice at the start of FIFA is really store those players into your club. We'll come back to that later on, but after that you've got contracts which you can either sell or keep in your consumables for later. Then you've got fitness cards. Now they're perfect. If you choose to sell, they'll sell for minimum 200 coins all game cycle, so from start to finish, or store them for later. That way you effectively get an infinite amount of fitness as well as contract cards. The kits can be worth a little something at the start of the game if you find a decent one, but generally I discard them as well as the staff members unless you get a good nations manager which might sell for 200 coins if you're lucky. Now you keep doing that until you start to get duplicate player cards. Then you start to list those players as well as any consumables that you're listing up. Not to forget, in those packs you can get squad fitnesses which will sell from anywhere from 700 to 1200 coins, especially at the start of FIFA. And then finally you can get straight coin rewards, which is obviously just free coins. Now people do moan about bronze pack, or they look down on it, they neglect it. And basically they say it's not worth it because you only make small amounts of money. But I look at it like this. So let's say that you sell the 3 players minimum of 150 coins each, so that's 450 before tax. Then you sell 1 fitness card, that's 200 coins, and 2 contracts for 150 each. Not to mention anything that you store in your club and anything that you quick sell for like 30-50 coins. But you'll end up with realistically about 950 before tax, 900 afterwards, give or take. So you've initially paid 400 coins, you've made 500 coin profit. So that's over 100% profit each time, and it's nearly guaranteed. When you look at a big money buy, let's say you buy a player for 100 grand, you sell him for 130, you've only made 30 grand. So in the long term, it means that you've made 30% profit. Obviously, short term, yes, you've made a large amount, but you've had to put 100,000 coins into it. Let's say you put 100,000 coins into bronze pack, and then you're gonna make at least 100,000 coins back. So for me, the logic in it works. Now, in terms of storing things and what you store, this is where bronze pack method brings in the big coins. So each time I get a player, I store it, okay, and we'll get into what happens with them cards later in the video. But going through the year, I keep checking the prices of my cards, and what I usually tend to use is websites like FUT and check the prices of each player in there. Sometimes it takes a while, but most of the time it's quite quick. Check if they've gone up, and when they spike, I sell up, and then it brings in the big cash. So some bronze cards of mine sold for 10k quick sell instant buys throughout FIFA 18, so it made massive amounts of profit then. Finally, as I said before, if you are to store the contracts and fitnesses, what will happen then is you'll end up with near thousands of contracts, hundreds of fitness cards, and that means that you can start to sell any squad fitnesses you receive from rewards, and also gold contracts, which sell a lot easier than bronze ones do, especially later on in the game. I'm not saying obviously that I invented the method or whatever, but for me, this is the one I use the most. From the start of FIFA 18 to the end of it, bronze pack for me, it continued to work. The beauty of it is that realistically, it doesn't matter how many coins that you start with, or that you have, sorry. You can start bronze pack method. I wouldn't recommend it if you've got less than 5 grand, because you can't really buy enough packs to start to see any sort of profit. But anything over that, it's easy to start making money, straight away. So the thing to remember with bronze pack method is buy as many packs as you can until your trade pile's full. List anything you don't need, and as long as you're making small profit while you're doing it, the big profit will come. And that leads me directly into method number 2. Method number 2 is trading around marquee matchups. Now, I've put this in number 2 just after bronze pack method because it's my regular profit maker. It's a weekly thing, and you can jump in and out of it as much as you want. Basically, for those who are new to FIFA and SBCs, marquee matchups are a weekly squad building challenge which are released on a Tuesday night, based around big fixtures happening that week in real life football. Now, it's tough to predict which games are going to be in marquee matchups until things like El Clasico or the Manchester Derby come out. But there's loads of videos on YouTube with predictions, and that I find those very useful. The best thing about marquee matchup investing is you can do it casually, as and when you want, and you can put as much or as little coins into it as you want as well. So the way that it works, the week before the weekend games you're going to invest in, you want to look at the week after's fixtures. Sounds confusing, right? So my advice would be watch the video on YouTube, find out which fixtures are predicted, and then you want to invest in players from those teams. So for example here, you've got Borussia Mönchengladbach and Schalke. So you'd invest in those teams, that league and things like that. Then, during the weekend, as people start to look into marquee matchups, you sell into the hype. Now what that means is basically before marquees come out, you sell anyone whose prices are spiking. This way, if their team doesn't come out into marquee matchups that week and they crash, you still get your profit. Once marquees are announced, then you check which players you've got that you can complete the SBCs with, and you sell any extras. Now the reason I'm using this clip and why I said it leads on from the bronze pack method is that you can use the bronze cards to complete the squad building challenge, and it makes it so cheap to get the reward. Like you can see here, once I put the gold Bundesliga players in, the one Schalke and the one Borussia Mönchengladbach in, I can then just go into a lower league team, be it League 2, League 1, Bundesliga 2 or 3, and just fill in the rest of the SBC with bronzes. I've got hundreds and hundreds of redundant bronzes that I can use to complete them. Also, because you've got those random bronzes from MLS or Saudi League, once a marquee matchups or a league SBCs drop, it means you complete them without having to slam 10k down for a random left back no one's ever heard of. Once you filled it all in, you can submit your squad and get your reward. And then you look at anyone else you've got in that league SBC or anyone else you've got for that team, and you sell them for a tidy bit of profit. Now for a more long-term investment, method number 3. So my method number 3 is trading with ones to watch cards. With the introduction of ones to watches last year, it opened up a whole new investment opportunity. I'll admit, I only did a little one to watch investing in 18 and I didn't make too much from it, but I know how it works, and if I had the time, I know how I could make a decent amount of coins from it. So if you're not sure what ones to watch cards are, they're a special card which follow the most recent version of the card. So if a player gets a team of the week, the ones to watch will match it. Same with European cards, man of the matches, heroes, whatever comes out from there. Not SBCs, team of the years or team of the seasons. These go up or down in price depending on how well the player's performing in real life, but the main point in this method is sell into the hype. Never ever ever wait until the Wednesday and sell once the new team of the week's released, because either he will be getting packed as an inform so his price will come down, or he won't get an inform and his price will crash, and then you'll have to wait until the next week and see how he does then. Now, I personally won't be looking at ones to watch investing this year because I work a lot on the weekends, and with the way it works, I don't have the time to put into it properly. But to put it easily, what you do is you buy ones to watch cards at their cheapest. Come the weekend, you keep an eye on the real life performance of the player that you own and his current price using a site like Foothead or Footbin. Then, if he performs well and he scores or whatever, you list him up and you watch as his price shoots up, because people will be buying the card hoping that it will get a boost on a Wednesday when the new team of the week comes out. It's also worth noting that certain players won't get an inform, and obviously what will happen then is that's when they'll drop in price. So that's when you should buy the players in order to make sure that you get the most profit that you can. Now, because I won't be looking at investments, I don't mind saying who I think will be getting big potential profit makers this year. But once I've gone through them, if you think I've missed anyone out or you don't agree with any of my choices, please give a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think, you know, who you think will do well, or who your club signed that you're looking forward to, or anything that you want to add regarding the ones to watch method. So first up, we've got Felipe Anderson. Now, West Ham have got off to a shocker, but I don't think it will last forever. And this lad looks like if he gets going, he'll be the real deal in FIFA this year. 4-star, blistering pace, high dribbling. If he gets an upgrade to his shooting and passing, then you're looking at a monster winger. Obviously, with the fact that West Ham are playing bad as well, if he does get a card, he'll probably start out quite cheap as well. Next, we've got Seri. Now, he looks so good so far. Fulham's team look decent, and he seems like he's the main guy in midfield for me. For me, he's like a Kante, a Keita, a Drissa Gay type of centre mid, which I've loved in FIFA 17 and 18. They're so quick and they can go backwards or forwards. So I think if he carries on playing as he is, he'll get a good few informs. Next is Daley Blind. He's one of the few non-Premiership players that I've picked out as a potential. The only reason being, he's back in the Netherlands, so maybe he'll start firing again. He's at one of the biggest clubs there, so I'm sure he'll get an inform or at least a goal on a weekend, causing some hype to sell in. And because it's in the Eredivisie, it might actually be quite cheap to start with. So a good investment there. Next up is Richarlison. It's an obvious one. The boy's smashing it at Everton already. I'm sure he's going to get a ones to watch, and if he comes back after the suspension and carries on, even if he doesn't get an inform, the hype will be massive around him. Now, Thomas Lemar, I'm not too sure on this one, but the reason I think for an investment it'll be really good is because of that weak foot. Having a 1 foot kills you on this game. Look at Salah before they upgraded that. Because of that, I think he'll be a super cheap ones to watch card, 15 to 20k maybe. And then if and when he scores, he'll spike up slightly, meaning each week if he doesn't get an inform, he might be a tasty one that you can just keep going backwards forwards with. So buy him on a Wednesday when the team of the week comes out, and then sell him on a weekend if he does alright. Finally, for the ones that I think will be a profit makers, is any Wolves card that they put as a one to watch. Now, EA haven't released who they're guaranteeing as the ones to watch yet, but I think whoever gets it for Wolves is worth picking up. Casual football fans will just see Wolves as the card and they'll sell, and because of that I think the cards probably might be on the cheap side. But the team are playing amazing, so you'll have weekend hype and really strong potential for boosts there. So I think whoever gets it for Wolves will be a big shout. Now there's two that I would avoid if I was you. The first one is Courtois. Now, do I think Courtois is going to do well at Real? Of course I do. Do I think he'll get informs? Yeah, of course I do. Do I think he'll make big profit from a one to watch if he does get an inform? Of course I do. Why I'm saying that you should avoid him is because he's just too expensive. To buy the one to watch card initially is going to cost you a bomb. Do you want to have that money tied up in an investment, or do you want to use the coins to invest in more guaranteed investments or buy a decent player for your first team? For me, I'd rather have the coins than buy him. Obviously, if you pack him, spot on. Bonucci, now I'm not sure if they'll give Bonucci a one to watch card again. He had one last year for the move from Juventus to AC in the first place, but now that he's gone back, maybe they'll give him another one. But last year he never even touched an inform, he never even got close. So for that reason, if he does get an one to watch again, I'd avoid it. Like Courtois, it'll probably cost a fair bit as well, but it's a hard one to call with defenders and informs, whether they're going to get the boost or if they've performed well that weekend. So for me, I'd stay away from him. Finally, if you get Cristiano Ronaldo, I'd say choose yourself. Do you sell and get the coins? Wait for the hype? Who cares? He's going to be the best in the game either way. So that's it. My first video done. Thanks for watching to the end. Now, I know I sound a bit iffy. I know it's a little bit awkward, but it's my first video. So give me any feedback you can down below. Any advice you've got for me. Also, in regards to the video, if there's any methods that you know about that I haven't gone through, anything you think's a bit easier for people to use, drop it in the comments and we'll have a look at that as well. Make sure you drop a thumbs up as well, that would be great. Until next time, see you later. Bye bye.